Today I'm going to install some hydraulic quick connectors to my Chinese Mini Excavator. I bought these on Amazon and I believe that the price was around $23 at the time of this video. I'll be sure to leave the links in the description. Clicking my link before any purchase really helps this channel with small commissions I earn from any sale. Not all of these Chinese Mini Excavators are created equal in reference to hydraulic thread types, so let me explain my thread types, and if they match the hydraulic thread types on your Chinese Mini Excavator, this may save you some legwork trying to figure this stuff out yourself. The first thing that you'll need for this job is a Chinese Mini Excavator. I recently bought the 800mm hydraulic tilt toothless bucket, which I'll be reviewing in another video in the near future. This is where the need for these hydraulic quick connectors arose. So why would we want to use hydraulic quick connectors? Well, there's a multitude of reasons. They obviously connect quickly, but most importantly, they keep dirt, water, and debris out of your hydraulic oil, all of which can be devastating to your hydraulic system. Also, they seal on both ends, keeping the hydraulic oil in the line, minimizing the need for bleeding and hydraulic fluid loss when changing attachments. Both parts of these hydraulic quick connectors have female national pipe threads, or NPT. In the Chinese Mini Excavator world, from what I've seen, the ends of all the hydraulic hoses are what we call metric din-light female thread, most of which being 14mm. There's a steep taper on the inside of the boy fitting, on which it seals with the help of an O-ring on the girl part. Our adapter fitting for this part of the quick connect will be M14 din-light male to 1/4 inch NPT male. On the excavator itself, there's a directional selector valve, which is sort of a luxury item in the world of Chinese Mini Excavators. On one side of the valve are the lines to the hydraulic thumb, and on the other side is an adapter fitting with M14 din-light male threads capped off. The lines going to your attachment will directly thread to this fitting and the attachment would work just fine. But we're going to add these quick connectors, so we need a different type of adapter. It turns out on this valve block that we have British threads. These are BSPP, which stands for British Standard Pipe Parallel, meaning that the threads are not tapered. They just tighten with the threads and the sealing is done with an O-ring tightened against the spot face on the valve block itself. By measuring the outside diameter of the threads and comparing to the chart, we have 3/8 male BSPP, and the adapter fitting converts it to 1/4 inch by male NPT. I'll try to include these links to these fittings in the description. We're going to need 2 of those from the BSPP 3/8 to 1/4 inch pipe thread, and then you're going to need 2 of these. If you have the same stuff as my excavator does, you're going to have 1/4 inch national pipe thread on one side, which will screw into these quick couplers, just like that. And on the opposite side, you have your M14 din-light metric, but that's a 14mm fitting that goes. That's what size they use with 1/4 inch hose on the metric end of things. I'll show you on the excavator how this all comes together. Now this is Loctite 565 thread sealant. I think I got this on Amazon. I'll include the Amazon link. This stuff, I actually checked with the manufacturer if it is safe to use with hydraulics. I wasn't 100% sure, and it is. So we'll be treating the threads on the pipe threads. The regular hydraulic threads shouldn't need any sealant. I like to put a little bit of oil or some of that Molykote 55 O-ring grease. Generally just a little bit of hydraulic oil will keep the seals lubricated and happy. Okay, so we already took our fitting off. We have our British thread right here. And I'm going to stick a little bit of this Molykote 55 onto the O-ring itself. This may or may not be necessary, but I'm using it because I have it. And these fittings will screw directly into the block. And this particular fitting takes a 20mm wrench. And like I said, check your equipment before you go and buy these fittings that I'm using, and make sure that if it looks similar to this, it probably is it. but I'm not going to accept responsibility if you order the wrong fittings, because these fittings are pricey. I think I bought these locally, but like I said, I'm going to try to find these online so you can order the right ones if you own an AGT machine, and you can purchase these. But I'm not going to get too nuts with tightening that, but let's move around to the other side. Nearly identical on this side. Now the ones that come off of here are 22 millimeters, so stand by for a second while I grab another wrench. So we have our 22 millimeter. Of course, we'll hang on to these because you never know. I might buy something in the future that has that British thread on it, and I need to change it over. It's hard to say, but these fittings are pretty pricey. But put a little bit of our Molykote 55 on. Being careful not to get it inside. I mean, I don't think trace amounts of this are going to really hurt your hydraulics though. And as you can see, they screw in there real nice. Get a 20 millimeter, and being that has the O-ring, I want to just tighten it enough to where they don't vibrate loose, but I'm not going to get too insane on there. I think you could actually ruin these fittings if you get too insanely tight. Okay, so this is going to come down to personal preference. I'm putting a male on one side and a female on the other side, so that when you put your attachments on, you're not going to get the lines mixed up. They can only go on one way. So take our protective cap off. Our Loctite 565, I'm just going to squirt a little bit on here. And again, I checked with Loctite and made sure that this is copacetic for use with hydraulic systems, and it said that it is. Although this is on the outside of the thread, so only extreme trace amounts are going to get into your hydraulic oil. So we got it started, and I lied to you. These are actually 19 millimeter, and the quick connect is 19 millimeter as well, possibly a 3/4. So I don't have two 19s with me right now. I'm just going to use an adjustable, and I'm going to tighten this pipe thread down. Not insanely tight. And again, there's a male on one side, female on the other, so you don't get the hoses mixed up when you attach your attachment. And again, the plier method, I call this, for tightening up these fittings. And there we are. One set of quick connects on the machine. Let's go put them on the attachment. Okay, so which end does what, and how do we want it on the machine? And how are we going to situate our hose ends to accommodate what we want from the machine? So let's think about this now. This is operated from a foot pedal, and this is just my personal preference. When I rock the foot pedal forward, I want this to tilt where I'll call it the right side is going down. I don't know if it really matters, but that's how I want it to run. So that means that when I push the foot pedal down, this hose is gonna need to situate it like this. So let's go over to the machine. So we have our foot pedal, and I already checked this. When you rock this pedal forward, this side gets energized. So we want our female quick connect on the attachment to be on this side. And by process of elimination, the male will go on the other side, or whatever they choose to identify as. Okay, so we are going to apply a little bit of our Loctite 565 to our pipe threads. That should be enough for both fittings. All right, And we're just gonna start our fittings into our fittings. We'll put a little bit more on this side and get them started as shown. And of course we got these are 17 millimeter. Yours may be different, as previously stated, and these are of course 19. And let me get them snugged up. And like I said, this may be rudimentary to some of you, but when you're using double wrenches like this, if you situate the wrench to where you can squeeze it like pliers, you don't have to worry. Yeah, I see so many people that try to go like this to tighten fittings on and stuff, you know, where they have wrenches facing both directions. And will it work? Yeah, but if you think about it, like, it's just so easy to grab, like right here, and just squeeze it like a pair of pliers and see how it tightens it right on. You can develop a tremendous amount of pressure by doing it that way. Okay, so we have our hoses here, and as we had previously discussed, our female is going to go on this side. And let me grab some of the O-ring grease to put on this O-ring here. Be right back. All right. And just this little bit that's on here should be plenty. And I'm just going to stick it down inside. That'll help lubricate the threads too. And oh no, we want the female on this side. Well, that one wants to identify as a female. So there is that. We get a 17 and snug them up. And that's plenty tight enough. Get our other side here. A little bit of our O-ring, Molykote 55 on the O-ring here. And just like that. 17 millimeter crescent, adjustable, whatever, and plier method, boom, and we are in business. That actually looks like it's lined up. Okay. Alright, so you get my first line hooked up just like this, pull back, and we got a good connection. And of course I'm going to have to situate the lines a little bit. So I'm going to take this directional valve and turn it to activate our tilt bucket. And we're going to have to do the same thing on the other side. And as shown. Okay, so I'm going to fire it up. Now I'm just a little bit above low idle, but I'm going to push this pedal here. Forward is going to rock the bucket that way. And we have a reasonable amount of control over it right now. I'm going to rock it the other way now, where I'd be pushing my heel on it. I hope that this video helped you figure out how to convert the fittings on your Chinese Mini Excavator, and if nothing else, hopefully you got some entertainment out of it. Please click the like button if you did, and consider subscribing if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.